Here you see object declaration. So how to do object declaration they are telling. So that is class name, object name. So just now I said class name is an identifier. Remember the identifier rules and write the class name. Object name. Object name is an identifier. Remember the identifier rules and write the object name. So here, in addition to identifier rules, you should remember the class name also. What you have used the class name, because see in the previous example I used the class name called as employee. That name you remember. That name you can put in place of class name. Then object name you remember the identifier rules and write. If you are declaring multiple objects, you can do it. Class name space object 1, object 2, up to n number of objects you can declare. So the below program illustrates the creation of object and use of a public variable. Now here we will see how to make use of the things. Okay, that is creating a class, writing the variables. Okay, look here. So I think it is visible properly. If it is not visible properly, you tell me. I will still I will increase the font size. I think it's okay. So here I have taken the class keyword. Okay, in front of class keyword I have written the word called as my class. See, I said when you are writing the class name, if you know the real world object, write it like laptop, table, fan, chair, like that, or even like student, employee, person, human being, like that you can write. If I don't want to write any real world object, if I just want to write one word, class name means one word I have to write. What word I should write? See, I have written my class. See, if you look at the word my class, it is not present in real world. It is not the name of any person, or it is not the name of any object. It is not the name of any living thing or non-living thing. Just it is the class name. Then how did I write? By remembering the identifier rules. You just check in this. Blank spaces is not there. Starting character is not a digit. Okay, it is not a keyword. My class is not a keyword, and symbols except underscore is not allowed, and underscore is not compulsory, so I have not used. It's okay if you don't use underscore, it is not a problem. But if you are using any symbol, use underscore only. That is the reason.
One doubt ಗುರು.
Ah,
ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಇದಾಗುತ್ತದೆ?
error, sir, because class is a keyword.
ಅಚ್ಚಾ ಅಚ್ಚಾ, ಓಕೆ. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕೀವರ್ಡ್. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಎರರ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ.
So if you want to give the class name as class only, then write first letter in capital letter.
ಓಕೆ, ಫೈನ್.
Or any letter in capital letter. Okay, so the meaning of that is what sir has asked it out. If I write class again in front of word class, if I write again class, then it is an error because class is a keyword. If I want to use the class name, the word class itself as an identifier, any letter we have to change in capital letter. So that meaning changes. Instead of meaning it as keyword, it will change to identifier. So in identifier, in keywords rules only, they are telling if we change any letter of the keyword from lowercase to uppercase, it is treated as an identifier. That is the rule of keyword. So keyword should be written in lowercase letters only. Okay. Now if I write here, say C, capital letter L, A, S, S. Yes, it's fine. It's correct because I have changed one letter, that is L, to capital, so it is allowed. Okay. But generally, yes.
Identifier should have digit also, na? After the first letter.
Yes, yes. Digits are allowed in identifiers after the first letter.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So here I have written as my class. Generally, programmers will not make use of keywords in identifiers. That is way of writing the program. If at all, if it is too much necessary, it is inevitable situation, we have to use any keyword as an identifier, then they will make use of it. But as per my knowledge, 99% they will not use keywords in the identifiers place. Okay, next. Class, my class, public. I have used three variables, I, J, and K. Then, see, they are telling here one comment. That comment is nothing but accessible to the entire program, because I have made it as public. Instead of writing data in private, I have made it as public intentionally for this program only, because this program only, heading itself they are telling this program illustrates the creation of objects and use of public variable. So only I have made it as I, J, K as public. Now we will see how they are using. Okay. Next comes the main function. My class AB. My class is the class name. A and B are the objects. You just look at this diagram, what I have put here, right side of the document. My class A, comma B. Two objects A and B are created and memory is allocated. See, whenever the variables are created, whenever the pointer variables are created, whenever an array is created, whenever the objects are created, memory should be allocated. Okay. So once memory is allocated, then only we can store the values. It's a simple concept. If there is a space, you can keep an item. If there is no space, you cannot keep an item. If there is a space on the table, then you can keep a book or a pen. Similarly, in the computer, if there is memory, then you can store the value. If there is no memory, you cannot store the value. So how it is getting the memory means by this statement: my class A, B, two objects A and B are created and memory is allocated. See, you just look at this memory representation, you will come to know. For A, one set of memory, for B, another set of memory. That means we have created two objects. For two objects, we are getting two different copy of memory. That is the advantage of using either the class or the structure. There is a concept called a structure also in programming language, and a class in case of object-oriented programming. So when we use the class concept, the advantage is we are getting memory for every object. See, for A, I am getting I, J, K, and memory is there. You can store the value for I, you can store the value of J, you can store the value of K. And again for B, same variables, same data members, again memory you are getting. That is a different memory, where values will not be conflicted or values will not be replaced. Okay. Now we will see how we have stored the values. A dot I is equals to 100. This is one way of storing the value, that is for a variable I. Then A dot J is equals to 4. Again, I have stored the value for J. You look at the memory here. A dot I is equals to 100 means in place of I, that is for storage space I, 100 is there. Okay. Prem has the doubt like we can use structure in C language. Yes, we can use the structure concept in C language. It's not actually structure concept has come in procedure-oriented programming languages such as C language only. Same concept we can apply in C++ also. So you can use in C language. It's not a problem. So next, you just look at this memory representation. For object A, three variables we have got I, J, and K. For I, I am storing the value 100. For J, I am storing the value 4. For K, I have not stored, but I have calculated. What is that? A dot K is equals to A dot I into A dot J. A dot I is 100, A dot J is 4, A dot K is I into J, that is 100 into 4, 400. So just look at the calculation here. So A dot K is equals to A dot I into A dot J, 100 into 4, that is nothing but 400. Here I will tell you how to use the public variable. Okay. Again, Premise has the doubt like, can we use procedure-oriented program of class in C language? No, it is not allowed. See, class concept itself is object-oriented programming. So you have to use in the programming languages where object-oriented programming concept is used, such as C++, Java, PHP, and so on. Okay. Next, here I will tell you how to make use of public variable in main program. Okay. Just look at this notepad file. Okay. See, if suppose if I have the class like this, so if I have the variable say int a, okay, let me take it as class name as ABC. There will be no confusion here. Okay. Next, so one more time I write the public. Okay, I just say void input. Okay, and for this function I will write the code, some code I have done. Okay, then closing of the class. So when we write the main function, first step what we have to do is we have to create an object of that class. So how to create an object of this class name? Let me take it as object name as like say yum. Yum is the object name. Okay, capital M. Now, how to make use of the variables and functions present in the class within the main function is there is a formula called as object, or we can say syntax, object dot variable. This is one thing. Another thing is object dot function name. This is one more thing. Two things are there: object dot variable, object dot function. Whichever you want, you can use. For example, yum is an object, dot a is a variable. Then you store the value, say 10. So this is how we can write. Or you can say yum is an object, dot function name, input. call the function. I hope you people have understood. M is an object. M dot operator you have to use. After dot, if you are using variable, you use the variable, or if you want to use the function, you can use the function. But syntax is same. Object dot variable name, object dot function. So now in the present scenario, so we are using variables. Okay, that is public variable in main function. So here you have come across. See, a dot I. A is an object. Dot I is a variable which is declared as public section in the public section of the class. A dot I is equals to 100. So 100 is stored in the memory location of I. A dot j is equals to 4. 4 is stored in the memory location of j, that is which belongs to object A. Then for k I have calculated a dot I into a dot j. So a dot k is equals to a dot I into a dot j, 100 into 4, 400. So 400 is stored in the memory location of k which belongs to object A. Then coming to the object B, for object B also we have got three variables I, j and k. But if I don't want to store values for I and j, it's okay. We will not store. See, it is blank. For object B, it is blank. If you go for k, I say b dot k is equals to 12. So 12 is stored in the memory location of k of object B. 12 is stored in the memory location of k of object B. So memory locations of I, j and k for object A is different from memory locations of I, j and k for object B. So whenever you are creating an object, you are getting new memory for the existing variables. That is the concept of classes and objects. Now you see, if you output these two things, if you output a dot k, you will get 400. If you output b dot k, you will get 12. Because variable name is same. Variable name is k only, but objects are different, right? Object A and object B. For object A, different memory location, different value. For object B, different memory location, different value. Okay, I hope people have understood. So I will wait for 1 minute. So if you have any doubts, you can ask. So till this topic, starting from the definition of class, till this topic, if you have any doubt, you can ask. Data members, how to make use of public data members in main function, and how to store the values in the data members of the class. Now we will look at the concept called as member functions. Functions that are declared or defined within a class are called member functions. The member functions may access any element of a class of which they are a part. This includes all private elements. See, when we declare the variable or a function as private, it cannot be accessed outside class, but it can be accessed by public members of the same class. So that is they're telling member functions may access any element of a class of which they are a part. This includes all private elements. Now we will see how to make use of member functions in this program. Okay, there is a concept of member functions in this program. So we'll see how. Okay. So inside class, what I have done, class A, public void display. Here one statement I have written, cout statement. So that is nothing but in class A. That is a simple cout statement. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. In class A, display. Okay. There is one message, that's all. And if you go for the main function, you just see here. Have created two objects for class A, two objects. One is object A, small letter A. Another one is object B, that is small letter B. Class name is capital letter A. I said in identifiers, if we change from lowercase to uppercase and uppercase to lowercase, they will become two different identifiers. There will be no conflict at all. Okay. So capital letter A is stated as class name, small letter A is stated as object name, and again small letter B is stated as object name. So we have two objects. Okay, A and B. And when you are calling the function, you can call this function any number of times. That is, you can make use of first object and call the function A dot display, and you can make use of second object and call the function, that is B dot display. So when you call like A dot display, first of all, you see this diagram, A space B. That means when the here. A space A, capital letter A, space small letter A. When this line is executed, that is when the above line is executed, object A is created. It's very simple. Object small letter A is created. Similarly, A space B, when the above line is executed, object that is small letter B is created. So now we have two different objects. Okay. Next, if you are calling the function, it will check by which object name you are calling the function. That is very important. So you have called the function two times, a dot display, b dot display. So by mistake it is a dot display, it is b dot display actually. A dot display, b dot display. So if you write a dot display, it will call the function. And again if you write b dot display, it will call the function. So display function is calling two times. So it is displayed like in class A display, in class A display. Two times that cout statement is executed because I have called the function two times. Function is written only once. Inside class, function is written only once, but calling that function is two times. That is A dot display and B dot display. So in this program, what we are learning is how to write a member function inside the class and how to call that function by using different objects. That is what we are learning in this present program. How to write a member function inside the class, how to call that function by using different objects. So I have used two objects A and B, A dot display, B dot display. Whenever you call the function, that function starts working. So when it works, it displays two things. That is in class A display, in class B display. So this I will execute and I will show you. It becomes very easy for you. You will understand neatly. Okay, just look here. Okay, so class A. Okay. So when you write the programming languages, you have to follow the format of writing the program also. Okay, because whenever you face the errors, it will be very easy to solve. That is, after opening brace, you have to leave space. Again, after public, leave space like that. So this here we are closing the class. Then we will start the main function. So once you write the opening brace, you leave space like this. Okay. So okay, fine. So here I'll write the capital letter A, small letter A, class name, object name. I write A dot display. Okay. Then capital letter A, small letter B. Then I write B dot display. So two times I'm calling the function. Two times it is displayed. Two times it will display. We will execute this program. You just observe. Okay. So I should write get ch. In class A display, two times it is displayed, but here I have not used endl, so it is displayed on one line. Okay, fine. Now you see in class A display, two times that cout statement is executed because two times function is calling. Now line by line execution I will show you. See, program execution starts from the main function, then clear screen. Okay, then that object declaration line for that program control was not displayed, but internally it happens. Object is declared. It doesn't mean that that line is not executed. It is executed. Internally it happens. So once it comes to the function a dot line a dot display, you observe here how the program control is transferred to the function within the class. See, so it is moving inside the class where that function is there, display function. Then inside that cout statement is there. So whenever you come across cout statement, it is linked to iostream.h header file. So some lines of iostream.h header file will be executed. You need not worry about that. So what is the code present in iostream.h? That just you have to know cout statement is linked to iostream.h header file. So once it is completed, again it will come back to the main function. In the main function, it will go for the next line. See, b dot display. So a space small letter b, that is executed internally, object is created, so we will not worry about that. B dot display. Next, See, again, one more time, it is going for display function because again we are calling the display function by using object B. So B dot display. Next. So cout statement is linked to iostream.h header file. So some statements of iostream are executed. Again, it will come back. So after B dot display, get ch function is there. Now you can see the output in class A, in class B. Okay. I hope you people have understood the concept. Okay, so next concept is a scope resolution operator. We can see in the next class. But before that, if you have any doubts, you can ask. Still 2.5 minutes is there to terminate the 40 minutes. Okay, you can ask.